What is up, guys? Welcome back to Swish Life Garage. Today, guys, you guys see it here, the Civic is being used as a daily. Today is its first day. Brought it to the house yesterday, drove it about 50-60 miles. Didn't have any issues. The only thing is the idle. The idle is high and I feel like it's going up higher. So I'm going to try to figure that out here today, possibly do some other things, but we'll see how long this takes. So let me open up the hood and we'll start investigating. I'm going to start the engine and try to listen to any air leaks that possibly might be there. I have some WD-40 here, so if I might hear air leak or I suspect there's an air leak, spray it, and if the idle goes up, then there definitely is going to be a leak right there. Throttle cable is too tight on here. See? So let me loosen that up and get it to the proper tightness. That was actually way easier to fix than I thought it would be. Adjusted the throttle cable right here. Now there's a little bit of slack in there. It was just pulled too far back, so it kind of partially had the throttle pulled a little bit, and that's why I was getting the high idle. So now my idle is at about 900, 800 RPMs and it sounds a whole lot better. Now I brought the Civic onto the driveway. I really need to power wash this thing. This thing looks like it's just been out in the dust and left with the windows down. I know I'm not going to clean it all on this video. This is a 95, so it's been through a lot. It has 320,000 miles, so you already can imagine the type of roads and type of stuff it's been through. All the dust flying in there throughout the years. For now, I'm going to start off with some power washing on the outside, and then I'll move into the engine bay, clean up some of that grease and stuff so I can see if it's still leaking anymore, what needs to be taken care of. I'm going to get the power washer all hooked up, get started on this, take some time, and just really go through it. Of course, I'm going to avoid the alternator, probably put a plastic bag on that, and as well a plastic bag on the starter to keep water from going in there. Spent about 3 hours just pressure washing it, took the wheels off, cleaned up underneath the wheel well, cleaned up in the engine bay, and things look a whole lot better in here. It's not perfect, and it's not going to be the last time that I clean in here or clean on the outside, but it looks a whole lot better than what it was. There's just a lot of dirt and grease, especially on the suspension, all around the motor, on the transmission, and like I said, it's not perfect. The next thing I'm probably going to do is clean in the trunk area. There's a lot of leaves, a lot of dirt. I'm pretty sure some water got in there from the holes from that spoiler that was on there previous. There's actually not any water in here. I guess it didn't go directly in there. I got the vacuum hooked up, so let's get at it. So vacuum the interior. Not putting a whole bunch of detail work into it just yet, just trying to get the general area clean for the most part, because I am using this car as a daily, so I get in and out of it a lot. I want to feel a little bit cleaner, a little bit more comfortable while driving the car. Yesterday after I finished vacuuming, I was kind of just looking at the suspension and noticing that it was uneven on each corner. It was different. Decided to adjust the coilovers, and how I did that is I got a tape measure, measured from the center cap, from the center of the wheel to the fender, to where it meets the fender, and I just grabbed a corner to where I thought it looked pretty good, measured it from there, and made that my reference point. Each corner was adjusted or lowered about a 1/4 inch, just over a 1/4 inch. I think one corner was adjusted about 1/2 inch. Basically just got my tape measure and put it here at the center cap of the wheel, the center of the center cap, read the measurement at the fender. And from there, if I had to lower it, let's just say about 3/16 of an inch, I'll take off the wheel and then lower the coil over by 3/16 of an inch. Of course, I just put on the wheel, set the car down, just kind of put some weight on it, bounce it up and down, redid the measurement, and checked to see if it's where I wanted it at. Other thing that I noticed is whenever I start up the car, the belt, the alternator belt kind of squeaks. I think I need to tighten up the alternator. I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Alternator belt sounds good. It doesn't make that squeaking sound whenever I start it on up. I did it as well, top off the radiator with some coolant, and also on the coilovers I mess with the valve, with the adjustable valves that they have. They're 24-way adjustable, and they weren't set on here. Each one was set to different clicks. So in the front I set it to 8 clicks, and in the rear 11 clicks. I'll drive the car and see how I like it, and if I have to, I'll adjust it and just get it to where I feel comfortable at. You guys can see how it sits. It sits right on top of the wheels. Let's take a closer look on how it sits. If we get closer here to the fender, you can see the car just sits right on top of the tire right there. For me, I like the way it looks, and I'm going to drive around, see how it is. If I started scraping a lot of places, then I'm going to raise it up a tad bit, but I was able to get up the driveway over here. That's the steeper side of the driveway, and compared to most driveways, this is pretty steep. Just had to come in at a slight angle, and I still had some room or some space from where it would hit on the bumper. So I think I'm pretty good on how it sits as of now. Another issue I want to take care of on this car, with it being a daily, is on my driver's side, my door lock doesn't work. So here I have my key. It doesn't even go all the way, so I'm going to try to see what's going on with that. And as well for my trunk, it's the same thing. See, I try to put the key in and it won't go in, so I want to figure that out. I have to keep unlocking it from the passenger side. And yeah, I really don't like doing that. I'm going to take off the door panel, and then we'll work on getting this handle off. Take the door handle off. You gotta get these 2 10s right here. Got one right here, and another one right there. Outside here, I'm going to take off this rod, this for the door handle to open it. And so you got to open up this clip right here in order to get the rod out. Actually, the rod looks like it's already. So that one just came out real easy. More than likely that's like an aftermarket clip or a real old clip. You got this rod for the key cylinder for the lock, and that one you could just get right out without having to open it up. And there's the door handle. I'm going to take off this key cylinder, and it's not even being held in there right. But there's this clip that holds it in. There's a clip. Now Should just come on out. On this key cylinder, if you see here, there's some tabs on the side. You'll be able to take the cover off of the lock. There that is. And then you got the little door. You gotta watch it. There's like a rod and a spring on there, and it can come out. So it's just like that. Let me try to put the key in there, see what's happening. Some sort of piece of metal in there. Maybe someone tried picking the lock. Oh, there it goes. That was it. The driver lock fixed. I'm gonna start to take out the panel here on the back side inside of the trunk so I could take off the key lock for the trunk here. So here is the lock for the trunk, and this rod isn't even on there. It's missing that white piece that goes on there. I'm pretty sure I could find one. I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna take this cover off. I don't know how well you guys could see, but there's like a piece of glass or something in there. That was like a piece of glass that was just jammed in there, and then the little door flew out with this rod. Looks like there's another piece of glass. I'm gonna get that one out. What I did is I took everything off. If I show you on the other key lock, you would have to take off this little C-clip and then take off this plastic piece, and then from there you gotta take off the spring that was around here. Take that off, and that's gonna be right there. And then from there you're able to slide out the key cylinder, the actual cylinder right here. You could actually take out the key lock, but you gotta watch out because after you take it out, there's all these little keys basically. That's what makes up the lock and makes it specifically for your key. It's because it has a cut already in there. So you're going to take that apart. What I do, I just like to hold them on in there. If they fall out, you're going to have it come out, and then there's a spring, a small spring as well. So make sure not to lose all this stuff. Since it is the trunk, it has this attached to it, this extension piece, and that piece just slides sideways on in there. I'm about to put it back on in right now. And then this would go in the key cylinder. You got to make sure all those are down so it slides on in there. So right here you can see it doesn't turn. Put the key on in there, it turns. So we got a working lock. I'm going to put this spring back on here. You got to make sure this little white piece is lined up with the key cylinder so it's in the open part. Then grab your spring. And just to show you how the spring is held on, one is holding on like right there. Then you got to turn it until it catches right there. There's what was in the key cylinder. It's like someone was trying to pick it with a piece of plastic. Guessing it's a piece of plastic. I got these parts from my Parts Del Sol on the trunk, and this will work on the EG. And there that is, that's all put together. These little metal pieces, these covers for the key cylinders, I'm going to be sanding them down. I got 1000 grit, 1500, and 2000 grit. I don't need much because they're little pieces. I'm going to sand them on down so I can polish them. But I do also as well want to get the passenger door handle off just so I could polish that one as well while I'm doing these. So I'm going to take that off and then we'll get everything sanded on down. I always have an issue, or it's just kind of hard with these little clips. Honestly, I would recommend, if you're able to, just buy these brand new from the dealership. Don't get aftermarket ones because they don't fit right. If you have an issue with them and you have an extra one available, you could just cut the edges and just get that plastic on out and then just replace it with a new one. This one, I just got a flathead and just kept opening up the plastic clip right there. Kind of damaged it, but it's enough, it'll still work. Now I'm going to get the key lock on out and get the cover. I have some water with some dish soap in here, and here's the parts I'm going to be polishing. I'm just going to throw them on in here. I'm going to start off with 1000 grit and sand everything down. Once it's finished up, I'm going to set it on the outside until I'm finished up with all the parts, then move on to 1500 and then 2000. All of this has been hit with 1000. Now to hit it with 1500. Finished it off with the 2000 grit, and if you wanted, you could do a little step further, sanding it with 3000 and then polish, but honestly I don't think that is needed. This is how it looks before the polishing. You can still see it, a little bit of sand marks. It looks a whole lot better than having that spray paint all over it. I got my drill attachment right here, right there, with the polishing pad. And here's some wheel chrome polish that I have. There that is with just its first polish. Looks a whole lot better, man. There's all the finished pieces. They're all polished up. You might still see a little bit of residue on them, but all polished up. Still have a few little scratches on them. A little bit of damage, I guess, from use or someone trying to open up the car, sticking whatever they stuck in there. And but yeah, these are finished up. I'm about to put them onto their locks, put them onto the door handles, and back onto the car. So there they are, all put together. About to put them on the door handles and then onto the car. Other thing I'm going to do is add a spare tire. I have an extra one here I had laying around. To me, if you're going to be doing daily driving all around the city, definitely need a spare tire. I don't want to wait for any tow truck. Final look at the car. I like how the car sits as of now. The only thing that I need is an alignment, but other than that, everything operates as it should. The locks work, I'm able to get in and out, doesn't overheat. The idle is fine now, just adjusting the throttle cable. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hopefully you got something out of it. Let me know if you guys have any questions down below in the comment section. Like this video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, check out some of my other videos. I'm gonna catch you on the next one, player.